Hey folks, how you doing? Mark Marino here from Awaken Your Wellness Now. I'm just out in the backyard here in the middle of February. We had a blizzard about 2 weeks ago and we had 2 feet of snow, and now we're getting a little mild weather this week, so I'm taking the advantage to get out in the bamboo before the snow comes back, which we can get next week or the week after that or into March, so we'll see what happens. But I wanted to talk to you today about what do you do when the pain comes back. Now, I'm asking about this because I have a lot of pain in the last 2 weeks. And if some of you know me, I've been a physical therapist for 25 years, but I also was somebody who suffered with chronic pain for 7 years. From a severe car accident, I had multiple injuries, severe injuries, and multiple surgeries. And so the resultant issue with that is that I had chronic pain for about 7 years. And the strategies I developed for my mindset helped me conquer that pain and get rid of my chronic pain. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't get pain anymore. What it does mean is that if I get pain, it's usually acute in nature and it goes away. The problem is with the mindset that you have when your pain returns. And what happened with me was this week and last week, I've had a lot of pain. And I wanted to bring this message out because every time that I do have pain that returns to me, it makes me think about how challenging it can be when you're in that chronic pain mindset and you're stuck in what I call the negative mindset pain loop. And what happened with me in the past was every time pain would come back, you say, oh no, here it comes again. I'm in this, pain cycle and I have chronic pain and I'm never going to be able to get rid of it. And very often what happens is you lose sight of the light at the end of the tunnel. You think there's never going to be a time that you're not going to have pain. And what happens is you focus on the traumatic event that happened to you, or it might have been a car accident, it might have been another physical trauma event, it might have been a surgery, it might have been a diagnosis of some syndrome or illness that you have. It can be a lot of different things. But the challenge is you get caught in that negative mindset where you just don't know what you're going to do, and it's hard to see a time when you won't have pain. And when you do have a reduction in symptoms, or you do get to the point where you can eliminate that pain, there's a tendency for you to think, okay, I'm a person that has chronic pain, or the doctor told me I have a bad back, or I have fibromyalgia, or I am a fibromyalgia patient. And what happens is this can become part of our identity. I've had patients that come to me and they say, I'm working with them, and that person had been pain-free for about 6 months, and then they had a flare-up of their symptoms. And they came in to me distraught and didn't know what to do, and said the pain's back, it's never going to go away. I knew this was going to happen. I have fibromyalgia. And I said, okay, let's look at the pain, let's identify where it's coming from, and let's treat it from there. But the tendency is when you have a chronic problem, we have a tendency to perseverate on the pain, and we have a tendency to hold on to that past traumatic incident or diagnosis. And we worry about the future and about the pain that we may have in the future, and worrying about something that hasn't happened in the future yet. And we forget to live in the moment and figure out how to focus on our solutions at this point in time. So I tell people, let's try this. Anytime you get pain, and this works for me every time it happens, if you get pain, look to the last 24 to 48 hours and look at the possibilities of the things that you were doing and why there may be a reason that you would have the increased pain. And what happens is your mind needs to understand the pain. Your mind focuses on just the idea of pain. And if all you can focus on is pain, if you go to bed thinking about pain and waking up thinking about pain, then all you can focus on and all you can think about is pain. But if you figure out what the pain may have come from, either mechanically or some other reason, then the mind can understand what the pain came from, understand the problem, and then work the challenge out and understand how to get past it. So for me, every time I shattered my hip in 2 places, shattered my lower leg in 6 places, I have 2 long rods, 6 screws, 4 cables, and a plate. I fractured my back. And so you can understand that I would have some orthopedic limitations. And so when I get some increase in pain, And just like everybody else, it can be a challenge for me, because when I get pain, I know what I went through. I know the chronic pain that I had for 7 years. I know what the dysfunctions that I have in my leg, what they can do to me. But if I understand why the pain is there and what may have caused it, then my mind can go to work on solving the challenge and getting past it. Now for me, I look to the last 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes it's a week. And then of course I thought to myself, okay, why am I having hip pain? Why am I having back pain? Why am I having the pain that's radiating down my right leg? Well, for me, what had happened is we had gone on a ski trip, and I had skied for 2 days. And then I'm also, as you know, I'm an orthopedic physical therapist, so I had 2 or 3 12 to 13 hour days where I was treating patients all day. And then I proceeded to do some do-it-yourself construction around my own house and some landscaping. And then the next day I also helped a family member with their house, and we ripped up rugs and moldings and tile floors, and I was bending and squatting and kneeling and twisting. And so then all of a sudden I said, so my last 2 weeks had been extremely active, and there's a reason for my pain to be there. And along with all that activity, I also had not been consistent with my stretching and my normal exercise routine. So right there was the reason for all my pain. And therefore I can go to work on what's the solution. And I would do whatever I would tell my patients. So I went back into the mode of being a patient, being a therapist and talking to me as a patient. And I went back to my stretching exercises, my range of motion exercises. I got treated by another therapist. And then guess what? My pain started to resolve. But it's very easy to get caught in that trap of the chronic pain mindset, where you get stuck in that loop where all your mind does is focus on the pain and why is it there. And there's a tendency to get stuck in that woe is me syndrome. And with that, there's a tendency to fall right back into that negative mindset pain loop. Now you may also be saying, but Mark, I have rheumatoid arthritis, or I have fibromyalgia, or I have chronic fatigue syndrome. Well, that may be true too, and if you have a flare-up of that, then it may be something else that may be flaring up your pain. It could be diet, it could be medication, it could be a number of different things. It could be the activity level that you've had over the past week. But if you look to the last 24, 48, possibly 72 hours, then you may very well find something like, let's say, abnormal meals or abnormal nutrition over that last week. You may have found that you did a long drive, like a 10-hour drive, and didn't think anything of it, but that's why your body flared up. So there's a number of different reasons why that can be. But if we start to become aware and recognize the possibilities of the things that could have caused our increase in pain, or could be causing our cycle of pain that we're having at this time, and then your mind can start to go to work on the challenge. How do I solve this problem? How do I get over this pain exacerbation? And that, my friends, is half the battle. So what I want you to do is the next time you have a flare-up in your pain, I want you to think about your mindset. I want you to think about being aware of what could have caused the increase in pain. Look to the last 24, 48, 72 hours, even a week, and look at all the different things that could be a possibility of why you're having a flare-up. And I want you again to think about your mindset. Think about what a difference it can be when you focus on the right things. If you focus on pain, you get more pain. If you focus on your health and wellness goals, and your brain will start to go to work on how do I reach my goals. And when you realize that and you become aware in your mind that you can take the steps that it takes to get past your chronic pain. Well, I hope this information helped you out. Have a great day, and as always, be positive, be motivated, be focused, and be well.